so upset and devastated that the government could do such a thing and ignore all our variations of our proposals to humanely relocate these horses. We had properties lined up. It was going to be no cost to the taxpayer, and they ignored all of them and shot anyway. They did it under the radar and gave us no time whatsoever to even know about it. They started shooting on Wednesday at 9 a.m. It's an atrocity.
The process is the helicopter's sent on to the base. They hunt down, chase horses as close as possible. The horses are terrified. They run frantically over each other, in holes, down ditches, run over each other, and then as bullets are fired, bullets never ever, virtually unlikely, unheard of, to do a clean shot to the head. So they're body shot, especially if the horses run into heavily timbered areas. The horses' bodies will be hit, and hopefully in their eyes will take the horse down, and then they can come back and finish it off. But there would be many horses that may have laid there all night after the first lot of shooting, suffering. There could have been mares, due to foal. This could have brought foals on at that stage while the horse is even laying down dying. Foals themselves were targeted in this massacre, so nothing was left alive. That's what we were told. A complete eradication has occurred at the Singleton Army base.
Being the horses have been there so long, why do you think it's unacceptable for them to have eradicated the horses? Do you think that the community has a right to have a stance, an opinion on it?
So, absolutely, the community has the right. The horses came from the community in the beginning. The community had the right to object to what they were proposing. The horses came from the community in the start, and these horses have been out there for so long, and they're saying these horses were inbred to the point where their minds were affected and couldn't be looked at as being rehomable, or even as far as breaking them in. I thoroughly dispute that, because these animals should have been relocated 50 years ago, taken off the base 50 years ago, and so they've just let a problem that they could see happening right in front of them progressively get worse, because the animals were contained in a small area. They only had each other to breed with, but that does not ever give them the right to aerial kill anything in Australia on this planet.
Human rights defender, I'm traveler, I'm filmmaker. This is my son Nikita, and we came from Sydney, that's why we are so late, sorry for this. A few days ago when I saw by TV this massacre, I was shocked. I could not believe my eyes. And then I started to call everywhere. I called to my MP directed me to Parliament directed me to the other Parliament, another Parliament directed me to the Mr. Pine, another one directed me to the Mr. Fawcett. No one wanted to pick up the phone, and it was a disaster. Like, no one wanted to carry responsibility for this. And then I called finally to the Mr. Pierce of Animals office, and there I was speaking with his secretary, and he said RSPCA approved this. So, last days I feel that my country is occupied by monsters, that they are driving this country, and wherever I'm turning my head, whatever they are doing, it is about animals, it is about aboriginals, it is about refugees, it is about less fortunate. Whichever side I turn my head, I'm just shocked.
We want accountability.
Yes, I want them to be accountable. This massacre, of course, it is like the last drop. It is like cherry on the cake. It is enough is enough. If we will not stop them now,
where do they draw the line?
They will continue and continue. And it is not the first time they are doing this. And I was shocked. It is really, there are so many alternative ways. Why they don't do it? I feel that this Mr. Fawcett, finally I went to his website, I found his army pilot. I think it is only someone with sick head can enjoy this killing from helicopter. So maybe it is just from his young years, and he still remember how he enjoyed it when he was young, and now he's a senator, and now he decided to continue what he was doing when he was young. So he's sick. He just loves to kill from helicopters. We have to stop them. They are sick. Please, let's do everything. I found on Mr. Pierce's speech that there is an act of preventing of cruelty towards animals, and actually we can make them accountable with this act. So let's do something. We are citizens in this country. We are taxpayers in this country. I don't want my taxes to be spent on killing horses, on taking refugees, these poor asylum seekers in the Pacific Islands. I don't want my taxes to be spent on harassing of Aboriginals. I had enough of this.
Yay!
Please, let's make them accountable. Nikita, come, Nikita. This is my small human rights and animal rights defender. We just came from Mexico, where we were both schooling and filming for a year, and now we applied for homeschooling, and we were approved for homeschooling. This is not our first homeschooling action. That's it. Thank you very much.
Tried to get a program with Newcastle University. They were in the process of developing a new contraceptive, and we put it forward that the Singleton Army Base was a perfect study to trial, because I mean they are in enclosed lands and there is a certain population. It would have been a perfect opportunity to put that to them as well. No, they didn't want to know. If tens of thousands of people,
what we would have done, you gave us no choice to do anything.
I give you the opportunity as soon as I found out from them.
Perfect study to lure him out to cut him down. That was it, nothing else.
No.
Yes.
I gave everybody the opportunity. I found out a week before the aerial culling was to begin, but I had to get confirmation from Department of Defence. They took a week of backpedaling with me. Nobody wanted to give me the bad news because they knew that we were not going to support it. Everybody was stalling.
Us all to be quiet so they could get it.
Even if today I had found an injured horse out there, nobody could actually be held accountable, because in this country we do not have federal animal welfare laws.
We need to.
It is all state-based.
That's the way forward then.
As far as I'm aware, and as far as indications, yes, they are all dead. They were never going to give me any foals that they may have found, because that is an admittance then that they were targeting the adult horses with foals afoot. Oh, they get cold as well.
I was out there last week.
Yeah, they shoot them as well.
From the air?
Internationally, people are absolutely horrified that we are the only country on the planet that will actually aerial cull our wild horses. Yes. That is a fact.
That's true.
There was 10,000 that was shot in Tempe Downs not long ago. There was 5,000 that was culled out of the Kimberley not long ago. It is a regular occurrence, and it is not just for horses, it is for camels and other feral animals. And I actually dispute that you can do any humanely with any species.
Absolutely. Yes, we are the only one country, so let's stop it finally. It is such a shame.
So we need to ensure that this does not happen again throughout the state of New South Wales, where it is banned. It is not illegal. It is just a commitment amongst politicians. It can be overturned overnight.
It's a shame. It's criminal. And I don't know how the soldiers feel on this base, but there's all this talk about nobody being able to go in and check and see whether or not any of the horses have been maimed or hurt. Yet it's all right for our soldiers to be out there running around day and night on these grounds that harbour all these unexploded ammunition and so forth. So, gee, the government doesn't think too much of our hard-working soldiers either, who rode on the backs of some of these horses in some of the wars in the past. So the other thing is, and it's been briefly mentioned by Godfrey, is transparency. If you're going to do anything, be transparent about it. Now, the government or the army, whoever, it's government and army, have known for years that the Brumbies are there. They've known for years that it's going to possibly be a problem someday if they keep increasing. But what have they done over the last few years? They've ignored all the advice that's been forthcoming from the likes of your group, Kim and Beck. They've ignored all the advice from other people who have offered possible solutions. And one of those solutions that has been completely ignored, and it was never ever, it's been ignored and it's never ever, they've never ever wanted to talk about it, is sterilisation. Now, I don't want to go down that way either. I'm part of horses, but it's humane. They can do it from helicopters, they can do it with people with guns, and it's all it is. The horse gets a dart and says, geez, that was a big bee that got me there, and they go on living their life out without being maimed and possibly sort of, well, as we had in the Guy Fawkes debacle, there was horses for days and some even weeks out there that remain injured. Now, who's going to guarantee that the same thing may not be happening here? The RSPCA, when I tried to contact them in relation to, are they going to go and check, or are they just going to rely on the information that's been given by somebody here, some government official? Who's the trust the government?
It's beautiful, Father.